French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Like, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hey, you made it. And so did I. It's the Mark It Down podcast with me Streak Mac, by myself. But I've got you guys here with me to review the pod. I've got my notes. I've got some water. That's always good. Stay hydrated, my friends. And we'll talk about night one of WrestleMania 41. And I will say, I think it was a solid show. I don't think they should rest on their morals. I hope they have something even more in store for tomorrow night, but we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, let's get into tonight's show, and let me try and do all the banners. You know I'm not good at that. It's not really my thing, but we'll give it a shot. Triple H does his random intro. Like, this is pretty standard for Triple H. I'll say this is a very short one compared to some of his other ones. Like, if you remember him from the first Raw of the Netflix era, or NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn, it was less showboaty of him. So I honestly don't even have a recollection. I remember him doing it. I don't remember like any specific details because it was so quick. So it doesn't really matter. No bad points, no thumb downs for Triple H. So let's just go into what we all suspected would main event the first match of WrestleMania 41. Main event, Jey Uso, who won the Royal Rumble, which traditionally results in you getting the main event of WrestleMania, opens main event 41 with his match against World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Now, I was gonna save this for another video, but since it's just me, I'm gonna show Pa a little bit. I'm gonna give you what I would have done. I don't know if I would have had Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. It's tough considering he lost to Gunther for the World Heavyweight title just the month before at main event. I would have done 3 different things. I would have done either A, have LA Knight win the Royal Rumble, switch his booking up a little bit. Maybe he wins the U.S. title a year before he did. Build him up this year for the Royal Rumble. He wins, and he has a match against Gunther where he beats him for the title. I think that would have worked. Option 2, you're gonna think I'm crazy for this one, but just hear me out. Option 2, you have Goldberg win the Royal Rumble. He goes on to WrestleMania, tells Gunther, "Hey, you're next." But lo and behold, Gunther destroys Goldberg in his retirement match. Gunther retains the World Heavyweight title. We never have to see Goldberg in another match. We definitely don't want to, focus on the fact that like Gunther is Austrian and Goldberg is Jewish. Definitely don't want to think about that part of it. I didn't think about that part until I told my brother-in-law, and he's like, about that aspect, and I'm like, oh shoot, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on my third option, which is in fact, you have Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. He goes on to Elimination Chamber, announces he's facing Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes is all about. He's like, let the best man win. Later on that night, Jey Uso gets taken out. He can't fight at WrestleMania. The Rock takes his place. The Rock beats Cody Rhodes for the World Championship. Rock goes on to have his championship reign. Jey Uso comes out just before SummerSlam. He's back, ready for his spot. We find out that The Rock, he sidelined Jey Uso. He had Rikishi take him out because he did it for The Rock. Jey Uso faces The Rock for the World Championship at SummerSlam, beats The Rock. Not only does he become a world champion, he becomes the WWE champion, not just the World Heavyweight. Those are my 3 options. What we got tonight was just that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, faced Gunther for the world title, and not only beat Gunther, but made him tap out. Sorry, my jaw's getting a little weak right now. Made Gunther tap out to a rear naked choke. I think this surprised a lot of people, and I think a lot of people weren't into it. I think most of us, whether you like Jey Uso or not, whether you want Jey Uso to be world champion or not, I think a lot of people accepted it. Me, one of them. I was like, it's going to happen tonight. I'm cool with it. You know, Jay's worked very hard. He's very popular. God, my jaw right now. Anywho, all this jabber jawing. I really need a punch in the mouth. I got some water. That's better than nothing. So, Jay, sorry, you didn't need to see that. A little sexy time. You got to pay extra for that. I wasn't happy with the tap out. I think Jay could totally win this match without tapping out Gunther, which has never happened in WWE. It did not need to happen tonight. I was not happy about that. Like I said, you got to pay extra for that stuff. So that bothered me. I didn't like it at all. It didn't make me mad. No, it takes a lot to get me mad about wrestling nowadays, because I just expect the worst at any given time. Not that the product is bad or anything, but I'm just prepared. Because that's what happens when you get enough disappointments and whatnot. I think the only thing at WrestleMania this year that's going to get me mad is if that Chelsea Green doesn't show up on the show at all, which it's looking like that's more than likely going to happen, which sucks. But let's move on. Also, Jay celebrated with Jimmy in the ring. It was a nice moment. Really funny when they were walking back up the entrance, not the entranceway, but through the crowd. Because, Jay goes through the crowd for his entrance. He did this for the exit as well. There was one very ecstatic white woman screaming behind Jay, and it was very funny. She wasn't, terrible by any means. I think she was just a woman that was excited, who was very vocal, and I can appreciate that. Personally, as a vocal person, someone that can be, you could watch an old wrestling show and you might hear me in the background of shows. I can point out times where that's happened. Hell, watch WrestleMania 35, The Miz versus Shane McMahon. When they go into the crowd, you can hear me, and I'm not next to them. I'm pretty far off. You can hear me saying to The Miz, finish him. Nothing against vocal people. Just saying it was comical. It caught my eye. I'm sure they weren't thrilled about it, but hey man, that's what happens when you go through, fans in the entrance in through the crowd. Nothing wrong with that. Even if it's not what you're looking for, bro, it's a real reaction. And I love real reactions. That's what I live for. So props to that woman for just being an excited fan. And obviously she did not at all take away from that moment from Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso. She was literally just standing behind them screaming woo, woo. She was happy. She wasn't shoving a phone in anybody's face or anything like that, because that's when you get into trouble. No one wants to get into trouble. So props to you, lady. Keep up the good work. I hope you're there tomorrow for WrestleMania 41 Night 2. Okay. So there's a little side note. Earlier, we're going back into Chelsea Green territory. Earlier, before the WrestleMania started, we found out Bayley got taken out backstage. So Lyra Valkyria will have to find a new partner for her tag team championship match against the current champs, Raquel Rodriguez versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. She needs a new partner. And my thought was, Lyra Valkyria is the mid-card champ. She's the IC champ. Why not get Chelsea Green, the U.S. champ? Maybe she's desperate. Maybe she knows that no one else is on the level of Chelsea Green. That's who she can pick. I don't know. Unfortunately, WrestleMania, it's chock full of commercials, it seems. That's become a thing that's become growing and more obvious. And tonight was no different. There was a lot of commercials. One of them was for Chime, the credit card company. And Becky Lynch was heavily promoted in this Chime commercial in a wrestling setting. So it kind of guys, not like it was a fine commercial, and it would be cool to do that commercial on Monday. But the cat's out of the bag. Becky Lynch is going to be Lyra Valkyria's partner tomorrow night for WrestleMania. And it makes sense. They're both Irish. I think a lot of people thought that Lyra would defend the title, the IC title, the women's IC title, the women's Intercontinental Championship. See, I can say it all. Against returning Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. It didn't happen, but it looks like Becky's definitely coming back tomorrow. I would bet the house on it, man. Like, after those Chime commercials that they show multiple times, come on. Becky's coming back. That's happening tomorrow. Stay tuned tomorrow. Find that out. Okay, we're getting to the next match. It was the New Day versus the tag team champions, the Viking Raiders. That's what War Raiders. They're back to the War Raiders. Anyway, the War Raiders come out. They look like dorks. They look like they're ready to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons. They had just the lamest horns and crown. And I'm like, bro, these guys were savages in Ring of Honor. I saw them. I saw them win the tag team championships in Ring of Honor in Philadelphia. God, that was, I think, 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. What you guys tell me, when did The Force Awakens come out? Let me see if I got any comments so far. How about that? And I definitely need to change the ticker. Yeah, here we go. We're changing the ticker. We can do that. I can do this. Recording style, brands, recommended. All right, we'll change it to this way just so I can get a better look. Comments. Do I have any comments right now? It does not appear I have any comments, so I'm going to go back to the long way. And we'll talk about this match, and we'll talk about the War Raiders. Okay. In Ring of Honor, they were the War Machine. They were War Machine. And I saw them whenever The Force Awakens, I saw them win the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. They go to NXT, they become the War Raiders. Not as good a name, but I get it. War Machine is probably copyrighted by Marvel. I get it. And they go on to win the Tag Team Champions in NXT, and they are the most dominant tag team champions in NXT, so much so that they aren't even defeated by anyone. They openly give up the titles so they can go to the main roster. They go to the main roster as the Viking Experience. It's a complete disaster. They recover as the Viking Raiders. They win the titles. Then one of them gets hurt. Don't ask me their crazy names. I know that it's Rowe that gets hurt. And Hanson goes on to do some good stuff in solos. Now they're back as the War Raiders. It's too little too late. The tag team division in both sides of WWE is not great. And they just looked awful tonight. The match itself was fine. I think they had some really good spots. Nothing that I wrote down specifically, but there was stuff to enjoy here. New Day end up picking up the victory, and they win for the first time at WrestleMania, which is nuts. I mean, they should have won their first appearance at WrestleMania when they took on the League of Nations. Regardless, better late than never, I suppose. It doesn't really matter, but it is what it is. They're lucky to have gotten on the card at all. Nothing tonight was terrible. That's what I will say. I don't think anything was super standout-ish, but nothing was just oh my God, these guys don't belong on the card, and their performance proves that. You know what I mean? So I do hope the New Day gets some more heat behind them. The fact that they were very hot with the whole Big E getting kicked out angle and the crowds really hating them worked all to their favor. But even that's been a long way off already. And we need to keep moving forward and keep drawing more heat. Whatever you got to do, boys, to get those crowds to keep hating you with that heat. thank you for hanging in with me, guys. I appreciate it. It's tough doing this alone, especially after like a few brewskis with my bro. I'm here at my sister's place, sister and brother-in-law and baby nephew, who I love very much, and he got to watch his first WrestleMania tonight. Just a couple of matches. He's seen 2 Royal Rumbles. He did not watch WrestleMania last year because I wasn't here to influence him. I was in Philly watching for myself. That was for me. That was for Matt. But let's move on to the next match. But also, let me change the banner because that's important. That's what I've been told. I'm not into banners. I'm not good at any of this shit. But here we go. Okay. The next match, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I think we were all expecting like a big squash. And it actually turned out to be I think competent is underselling it. I thought this was a solid match. And, we talk about like, who deserves what? And like, again, we talked about the last match. I don't think, did the New Day deserve to win at WrestleMania? 100%. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But does like the story, does it equate to that? Is there other more people that are like hotter that should be on the card instead? Not because they've been around longer, but because they're more popular. You know what I'm saying? So the same kind of thing could be said about Naomi, who's kind of like just been on the back burner ever since her return to WWE. She's always just kind of like, she's always been the bridesmaid. That being said, I think her and Jade had a very good match. I think anyone who's given Jade a hard time about being inexperienced and, whatever other negative things you can say that I'm not going to say myself, just watch this match. And I will say, like, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought this was fun. And that's what wrestling is about. It's about performing and emotions, and most importantly, it's about fun, having fun. If you're not watching wrestling or perform or being a wrestler and you're not having fun, then it's just kind of like that's part of life, man. Like, what's the point if you're not doing that? Find something else. Find something that brings you joy. And this is the kind of match. Did it bring me like a ton of joy? Like, was I over the moon? No. But considering a lot of, like me, like a lot of people that were just kind of like, on the whole deal, like, this was a great position for Naomi to be in. And also Jade. There was a few really cool spots. So at one point, Jade went to the outside. Sorry. Jade was in the ring. Ooh, sorry. That was a taco burp. So Jade was on the inside of the ring. Naomi was on the outside. She dragged Jade underneath the bottom rope, hung Jade kind of like how Randy Orton does the hanging DDT. And she did an X Factor, aka like a face. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a fire truck going on. I'll just hold off for a second. Let me get some more water. Hopefully no more taco burps. And thanks for joining. We got 16 people in right now. I appreciate it. It's just me lounging here, doing the best I can. So I apologize if anyone's made comments yet. I can't really see it at the angle on that. I will try and take a look soon. And hopefully you hear me. Like, I've got the earbuds in. I think I wouldn't have any viewers if you couldn't hear me. We're up to 17 now. See what I'm saying? So Naomi hits the X Factor on Jade on the outside, and it just, it was great. It was great. It was like a safe spot, but like it was great. And what else I got here? Jade did catch her a couple times. Let me make sure I don't miss anything though. Yeah, Jade caught Naomi a couple times from like top rope like dives. At one point, Jade kind of like grabbed her and did like I think it was a power bomb, and it was just a little bit off. Like it didn't look sloppy by any means, but like it just didn't hand like directly on, and it looked like Jade was going. This is towards the end of the match. Jade looked like was going for the pin, but like the ref kind of like signaled it off. So like Jade just went to the next maneuver, which was her finisher, and then went for the pin. The feeling I got was that like Jade was supposed to go for the pin, Naomi kicks out, then goes for the finisher, and then the match is over. So my only complaint there is that Naomi would have looked better if she kicked out after a devastating move like that, only for Jade to have to go to the finisher. It's not really a criticism on anybody. Like, it's just the way it ended up happening. Again, I think the ref was like more like concerned about Naomi's well-being, and to Jade's credit was just like, okay, she seems okay. Like, don't go for the pin now. Just go for the finish. Like, go for the finish of the match and just end it and go home. So that's at least that's how I interpreted it. If that's the case, again, like I said, this is a very enjoyable match. I actually think it was better than women's title match, which we'll get to later. So good for these women. What I hope this translates to is that Jade will get some more premium matches on SmackDown, perhaps a title match in the near future. Oh, sorry, more taco burps. Oof, I ate a lot of tacos tonight. I typically eat 3 tacos. I ate 5 tacos tonight. I could have had 6, but I gave one to my brother-in-law, which I think was the right choice. No regrets. Definitely don't want to have any worse taco burps than I have right now. So, and I really honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, it's I find it strange that we've got Katana Chance and Kane Kanzaro and Caden Carter. We currently, if I'm not mistaken, we have 6 black women on the main roster. We have Caden Carter on Raw, and then we have Mia Yim, B Fab, Naomi. I don't like cheers to black women. Absolutely, give them a thumbs up. That I wasn't trying to make an emoji happen though. Sorry. So Mia Yim, B Fab, Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair. We have 5 black women on SmackDown. I just feel like we should spread them out. I think let's put it this way. I don't want anyone to get lost in the shuffle. Like, I wouldn't want, if you had like a bunch of Canadian performers, I wouldn't want them all on one brand. If we had a bunch of like luchadors, I wouldn't want them all on one brand. I would want them spread out so they kind of aren't just like, toppling over each other. So I really would, after this WrestleMania, I think that Naomi could really flourish on Raw. I truly believe that. I think at the very least, she would be in the women's world title picture. Definitely the mid card, the Intercontinental Championship title picture, and she's capable of becoming a champion again. And I think tonight, even though she lost, I think it's a step in the right direction. I really enjoyed this match. I think both performers looked great, and just brava to both ladies. So keep up the great work, and let's go to the next ticker. What do we got? It's L.A. Knight, yeah, versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Interestingly enough, Jacob Fatu does come out with Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa, meets him on the entrance ramp, hypes him up, and then Jacob Fatu goes down by himself. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Solo Sikoa anywhere else on this WrestleMania card. That's just interesting. The fact that we all thought it was going to be, maybe not all of us, but it was heavily rumored that Jacob Fatu would be facing Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania this year. Granted, I think the LA Knight match is way more interesting. Does it kind of stink for LA Knight? Yeah. You heard me in the beginning of this video. I think his United States Championship title run was a year too late. Maybe not late, but like it was a year overdue. And he should have been in the title picture this year. Oh God, what's the camera doing right now? Oh God, what are we doing? Sorry, it went to like there we go. That looks better. All right, let's see if we have any comments. Time. Can't post comments. Come on. Can't post comments to some destinations. I will just figure that there are no comments. It would be nice if I had a producer here, but I don't. I'm on my own. And honestly, I thrive on this craziness. Okay. So, yeah, the LA Knight match. I thought this match could potentially steal the show. I didn't expect it to, but I definitely thought it had the potential. And I will say, it was the match of the night so far. That's right. Let's see what I wrote down as far as things going on. Very early in the match, Knight hits a pretty strong offensive maneuver and then goes for the BFT. And he actually nearly lands it, but it's kind of like one of those like last minute, like before Jacob Fatu's face hits the mat, he puts his hands up to kind of like absorb that impact. So LA Knight is not able to hit the BFT as easily as he thought. We got 20 viewers now, so I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I got my CM Punk shirt on. What else we got? There was some other cool moves, like at one point, LA Knight goes to the top rope, hits an elbow on a standing Jey Uso. That looked really, really cool. And I think that's tough to do. Like, I think like a flying elbow, especially on a standing opponent, doesn't look terribly devastating, but it did look really good here. So I enjoyed it. Let me see if I can flip this hat back so we can keep going. All right, we can. Good. All right, we're good. I can lose the hat too, but I don't like this lighting for my head. What else we got? LA Knight does his patented screw it. We're gonna lose that. I shaved my head, just so you know. So, LA Knight hits his patented jumping to the top rope spot. He doesn't quite make it, but he lands enough of it. I think he needs to figure out how to transition that better. Like maybe he jumps like to, and if tonight is the way he does it from now on, I think it works. Where he had like 1 foot on the second rope and 1 foot on the third rope. That's fine by me because he then hit like a great top rope suplex that was like an extra rotation. So Jacob Fatu, instead of landing on his back, landed on his face, his stomach. It was great. And later on, Jacob Fatu hit a top rope senton, and it was LA Knight was in the corner. It wasn't like he was on the ground. It's hard to explain, but it was to the back of his neck, and it was just awesome. This really didn't take a whole lot, but it still like was just very satisfying. There was just a lot. There was a lot to like about this match. At the end, Fatu hit him with a double moonsault and is still undefeated. I didn't even talk about the fact that LA Knight like hit a in the air BFT. I don't think it quite really made the mark, but they sold it well enough, and like it. You know what I mean? It was good. It wasn't like, oh my God, what the fuck was that? I was kind of like confused. But again, I had a few brewskis. So that could have gone, that could have been a part of that. But yeah, Jacob Fatu, your new United States champion. We're 3 for 3 on title changes tonight. Something's got to give, unless this is WrestleMania 35. In which case only the U.S. title didn't change hands, but actually the tag titles didn't change hands either. But you know what I'm saying. All right, what do we got here? Next up, let me get some water, guys. I'm starting to fade, but I got you. I'm not going anywhere. I got you. I got my water. My throat hurts. Okay. This next match is kind of tough. So I was a huge Chad Gable fan. God, more taco burps. I apologize. Give me a second. Don't look at what's going on. All right. Glad I got headphones. There's shenanigans going on outside in Harlem. That's how I rock, though. I don't rock with shenanigans. I just go where I want. Damn, it's really getting out of hand out there. Like, get your shit together. Get home. Get home. If you gotta argue like this, go home. It's time to go home. That's what I say. I'm glad I'm indoors. I don't need to start shit in Harlem. I don't need to start shit anywhere. Regardless, apologies. I should start a podcast in Harlem. Just be like, what's going down? I really shouldn't, because I will stand out like a sore thumb on those blocks. Here's the thing. When I'm in this neighborhood, like during the day, it's like, it's crazy, man. Like everyone's like super nice and like super chill. And again, just be respectful. That, like, you know, anytime you're anywhere, you should always be respectful, but especially when it's not, you know, your home. But I definitely wouldn't want to go out at night and just start filming shit. Like, I think anybody who films shit at night is just kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? Outside. But we're inside now. So let's go back to wrestling. We need to talk about, you know, urbanomics. Okay, next up, it's Rey Mysterio versus Grande Americano. Unfortunately, Rey Mysterio got hurt last night on SmackDown, so he is not medically cleared. But to save his place is Dragon Lee. JK, it was actually Rey Fenix. Poor Dragon Lee. This dude comes into NXT with big hype, wins the North American Championship, gets to go to the main roster pretty quickly. I thought too quickly, honestly, in my personal opinion. Gets to join the LWO. Is supposed to be storyline-wise on a match for WrestleMania last year, and he's not even considered this year. Like, that's sad. Like, literally storyline-wise, like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that? Like, hey, Rey Mysterio, you wanted me to be your tag partner last year at WrestleMania. It didn't happen. This year at WrestleMania, you need a replacement, and you don't pick me, especially after last year. Like, what the hell? Bro, Dragon Lee, bro, just ask for your release. I'm being straight up honest with you. There's nothing WWE has for you. There's nothing, right? I guess he's still the speed champion, but like, everybody knows that title's a joke. It's a title for X. Like, I really don't want to make this a political thing, but like Elon Musk, like, come on, nobody watches that. Dragon Lee, bro, you should have gone to AEW. Come on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the North American Championship is like literally the best looking title in WWE. Like, straight up, I think it's the best looking title. It's the only title with a brown strap. It might still look even better in black. I don't know. I don't like it in white. I will say that, the women's title. But bro, it's the best looking title in WWE of all the titles. He won it, but he hasn't done anything yet since. And the speed title doesn't count for anything. So anyway, I've been talking for a half hour. I got to change the banner. Sorry guys. Because we're not doing LA Knight anymore. Rey Fenix. There we go. And do we have any comments? I'm still not seeing any comments. So I hope you guys are leaving comments. But if you're not, that's okay. We still got plenty of people in the Zipod. Zapato. Okay. So I was at the car show today. It was fun. Need to keep going because I'm starting to lose steam. It's also starting to get hot in here. I think it's the ring light I got. The ring light's getting hot. Okay. Rey Fenix versus Grande Americano. I think this match had a lot of potential behind it. I don't think it underdelivered, but I don't think it was match of the night still. Like, I think this could have stolen the show. It did not. It was still very satisfying. I think the biggest spot of the night was Gable, Grande Americano. He did a 1.5 moonsault. Like it might have been like where he lands on his knees. I'd have to rewatch it. Like Kurt Angle did that one time. It was fucking awesome. They hit all their standard spots. It was just very fun, interesting, well played. Not much in the way of botches. I know Rey Fenix can sometimes, with all his flippity doodah, can sometimes overdo it and end up botching. The only time I saw something where it wasn't a botch, but just wasn't as fluid as I would have liked, is he did where he goes through the ropes and does like a springboard back, kind of like he does like a 619, but there's no one there, so he slingshots back and then lands in the ring and does a back heel kick. He hit the heel kick. He did hit it. It wasn't like a botch. He didn't miss it, but he didn't really get a whole lot of connection. It was kind of like, eh. But anyway, this was satisfying. Grande Americano did what he did on Monday, which is he put the metal plate in his mask. Phoenix did his running kick, hit the mask, hurt his foot, and then Grande hit a headbutt and got the 1, 2, 3. This was the first match of the night that I predicted wrong. I thought for sure Grande Americano was going to lose. I thought he was going to get demasked. We're all going to find out it was Gable, and we're going to be done with this gimmick. We go into the whole thing about Gable, how this is another WWE thing of being a year too late. Did I like this match? Sure. But do I enjoy the Americano Grande Americano gimmick? No. You could have had Gable be IC champion last year at Mania. You could have had him win Money in the Bank. You could have had him win the World Heavyweight Championship. These were all options that were available to you for Gable as Gable. Instead, you have him doing another new gimmick. It didn't work out for Shorty G. I don't think long-term it's going to work for El Grande Americano. And again, as a person, if someone was like, hey, do you want to meet Chad Gable? I'd be like, sure. But at the same time, I don't care. I'm not going to go and miss work to meet Chad Gable in this state. If it was last year, if it was he's about to take on Gunther for the IC title, I'd be like, F yeah. I'll miss work. That guy's my dude. I love him. But he's got the Dolph Ziggler stink on him now. It's just kind of yeah, you're great, but you're never going to be world champion, and the company doesn't care about you, and you're just here to put other people over. But who knows? Maybe this will change with Grande Americano. But do I want that? Do I want that with that character? Do you need to put a mask on Chad Gable? Respectfully, and as a heterosexual man, I can say Chad Gable's a good looking guy. Whether he's got the long hair or the short hair, I think he looks better with the short hair. But I don't think there's anything about his face that says not TV ready or not worthy of admiration or love, or you know what I'm saying? It's just odd. It reminds me of the Christian green dot or blue dot thing. But let's move on. Get to the next banner. How are we doing here? How many more we got? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, we're almost done. All right, I can handle that. I can do that. Next up, we got Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's World Championship. The Women's WWE Championship. And this is what I'll say, and I meant to mention it earlier. They have almost exactly the same gear on. It's almost identical. And the same thing happened with Grande Americano. I'm just going to call him Chad Gable for now. Sorry. Again, I'm drinking. My throat hurts. It's kind of hard talking. Chad Gable and Rey Fenix both had red clothing on. Again, Rey Fenix has pants. Chad Gable has a singlet. But they're both in red, and they both have masks. And sometimes it was kind of hard to differentiate them the two. It's even worse with Tiffany and Charlotte. I just want to point that out from the standpoint of you got to think about people, one, who don't have great eyesight, two, people who are inebriated, and 3, people that are at the arena who are very high in the nosebleed sections. Like, don't have your wrestlers wear similar gear unless that is the storyline that you were presenting. And it was certainly not the storyline they were presenting in these last 2 matches. And again, watching at home with a close-up, there was times where I'm just kind of like squinting. I'm like, who's who? Oh, all right, I got it. I can't imagine how frustrating that would be, like being in the stadium. And I understand the stadium, you get the big screens to watch. I'm just saying, unless it's storyline specific, don't have your wrestlers wear similar gear. You're just setting yourself up for more difficulties than you need to. And we definitely ran into that with Charlotte and Tiffany. It was a competent match. I would say decent. It had some fun spots. There definitely was some miscommunication throughout. Was it terrible? No, absolutely not. It was not terrible, but there was miscommunication. You could tell. Let me see, what else did I write? I liked one spot where Tiffany kind of did a front flip from outside the ring over the ropes over Charlotte's back into the ring. It kind of looked like she was trying to hit knees on Charlotte, but didn't. Kept going forward, springboard off the ropes. Looked like she was trying to attack Charlotte, and Charlotte just gave her a big old boot. And I like that because it's like, well, you didn't hit those knees that you were looking to hit, so it makes that sense that Charlotte would just fucking kick you in the face because she's fucking unfazed. So that was cool. What else did I write about this match specifically? I don't know why I wrote this down. I guess it was in the moment. But Charlotte says, "Come on, bitch." So, hey, anytime you get some real emotion and some cursing out of it, that's great. There was a botch on the ropes. They recovered from it. It was fine. They did a cool stand-up reversal by Flair onto her knee. Don't know what I meant by that, but it is what it is. Tiffany went for the prettiest moonsault ever. Charlotte put her knees up at the perfect time. You literally could not time it better. One criticism, and I'd have to do a deep dive just to make sure. But Stephanie Vicare's move where she's got her legs wrapped around her opponent's heads and she's just driving her opponent's head into the mat with her legs. And we all get the crazy, the horny bat out for that shit. Charlotte started doing it. Didn't really appreciate that. They even mentioned it on commentary. She's used to doing that same move, but doing flips, kind of like somersaults, which she ended up doing after those initial knees. But it's just kind of Charlotte, you've been here a long time. You're one of the most accomplished women wrestlers of all time. And certainly in this company, I think you have a Hall of Fame worthy career. Very talented, very athletic. But she always seems to rub people the wrong way. And taking a move from an active wrestler who is at the top of NXT right now, unless there's a specific storyline going with that, it's just no, don't do that. Don't take other people's moves. That's always been a thing. Sometimes we ignore it, I will admit. But when you've got as much heat as Charlotte does, she should not be stealing other people's moves or borrowing or being inspired unless she acknowledges it beforehand. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a good look on Charlotte. Maybe that was planned. I don't know. But I did notice it. I'm I don't think Charlotte's done that. I always think she does the somersault over. I'll have to play that back to make sure. I'm not going to do it tonight. Maybe the internet will tell me. But yeah, I wasn't particularly fond of that. Anyway, the match goes on. Tiffany hits the prettiest moonsault ever, gets the 1, 2, 3. She wins, as I think she should. So this was good. This was good for Tiffany. She needed this to really be a credible champion. It's crazy because last year before Mania, she was like on top of the world. And then like she joined the main roster and it was kind of like 50-50 booking. It was just bizarre. Like I've even like mentioned, like it felt like she was dealing with, like, I mean this halfway joking, but like also kind of like what's going on. It felt like she was dealing with, uh, affirmative action booking. It was super bizarre, like her booking with Naomi. And it's like, why did she have a match with Bianca Belair in like a random Queen of the Ring match that wasn't even the finals? Like it didn't add up. Like, especially because this woman, she's young, she's talented, she's very pretty. She seems to be like everything you're looking for in the current market, especially since you're looking for like X athletes and gymnasts. Like she hits all the marks that you're looking for. Like why would you bring her to the main roster not to put her on the Mania last year and also to have her like do 50-50 booking? Like it's like maybe she's earning her stripes, but there's other ways to do it. I don't know why you gotta like lower her stock. And that's what I felt like they did. But tonight they definitely she's on the up and up. She's onward and upward. While Chelsea Green is definitely the person I want to win Money in the Bank, another option is Charlotte Flair. Like, have Charlotte face Tiffany again next month, have her lose, have Charlotte be mad, frustrated, somehow she gets into Money in the Bank, and that's the only way she can beat Tiffany is with Money in the Bank. And I think that would do a lot for Charlotte's character. It also gives her that extra title she wants so badly, and will also, the haters will continue to hate. So I feel like it's a win-win-win. But dear God, let's get to the main event. Okay, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out with a flamethrower entrance. He pretty much gets a double entrance. It's pretty cool. I liked it. I will say he used the flamethrower better than The Rock did at WrestleMania 30. Was 32? I think it was 32. Yeah. So good for Seth. So he does that with his entrance, and then he does an entrance afterwards. It was pretty cool. He's got the white gear on, very similar to his SummerSlam gear all those years ago against John Cena at Barclays down in the other borough. Seth looked great. Then Roman Reigns comes out, pretty standard entrance, and then CM Punk comes out, and he comes out with like the biggest video package we've seen in a while, and it was great. And he comes out, he's got the gray hoodie, he's got Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's telling him what time it is. He's got the old school yellow gear. If you remember, this is kind of like the if you played the video games, this was WWE. This was SmackDown versus Raw. Excuse me, 2011 gear. So this is like. I don't think it was that exact gear, but it was definitely, if it wasn't, it was definitely inspired by. And I think you watch this video and you immediately think, okay, Punk is definitely winning. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have not been keeping up with current Raw. I haven't been keeping up with current WWE for like the past month. I've been doing the socials on the pod. I've been going to live shows and covering those and trying to get us more opportunities throughout wrestling and entertainment. You might have seen that Kieran Culkin clip I did, asking who he thought was going to win tonight. Me and Kieran, we were both wrong, Kieran. CM Punk did not win tonight. It was Rollins. There was a lot to like. I think I suspected Rollins might win just based on the story. It felt like if Paul Heyman has ties to both Roman Reigns and CM Punk, then they kind of cancel each other out, and he goes with Rollins. At the same time, Rollins doesn't really need an advocate. He doesn't need Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman can do wonders for anyone, so I'm okay with it. Let me write what I wrote down that I liked. I thought it was hilarious that, maybe not hilarious, but just humorous that Roman's done what he's done in the past. He goes for a spear and Seth counters into a jumping pedigree You might remember this happened in Money in the Bank many, many moons ago. The Money in the Bank where eventually Dean Ambrose became champion. It started with Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Roman goes for the pin, goes for the spear. Rollins counters into a jumping pedigree, like accepts the spear into a pedigree. And it's funny because that one he only hooked one arm, and tonight he only hooked up one arm too. Again, I'm not saying I can do any better. Sorry, I'm not saying it looked bad, but it was a great callback for me personally, and I enjoyed it. What else we got? Seth goes for the Phoenix Splash. He does not land it. He does the roll through. I think that would have been fun tonight. It's a triple threat. Seth, just land a Phoenix Splash. Like, unless it's really dangerous to you, I don't know, man. Like, you haven't hit it since that time you faced John Cena and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I think that was literally the last time he hit a Phoenix Splash. Might have been the first and only time in WWE. But it's a triple threat match. You can hit a Phoenix Splash and have someone else break it up. Oh, God, sorry, I'm tired. But, yeah, I'm almost there. That was enjoyable. So what happened with that one specifically? Okay. Then somebody hits a spear, a GTS, a 2 count, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this was interesting. Seth goes to Roman to try and convince him, hey, let's take out CM Punk. And he's like talking about all the things in their past. And he even mentions Mox by name. He doesn't say Dean Ambrose. He says Mox, which I thought was cool. You know, it's a fun little inside thing. It looks like they're going to do 2/3 of the Shield power bomb on Punk onto these new announce tables. It's really funny. Roman hits Seth instead, hits his own singular power bomb onto CM Punk onto the regular announce table, grabs Seth, hits a power bomb onto the Spanish announce table, throws Seth back in the ring, does the rebound spear, but is only able to get the 2 count. What happens next? Oh, God. A bunch of shit happens, a lot of finishers. Paul Heyman grabs a chair, looks to give it to Punk or Roman, gives it to Punk. Punk's about to hit Roman with the chair. Paul Heyman hits an elbow on Punk. Then Roman's about to hit Seth with a chair. Paul Heyman hits a low blow on Roman. Seth hits Roman with the chair. Then hits him with the stomp, gets the 1, 2, 3. I thought that was amazing. I thought this was perfect. We've said it. Punk said it many times. He's like, hey, man, I just want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't even have to win. He said that over a decade ago. He's like, bro, put me in a triple threat with Rock, John Cena. You can have me get tagged. You can make it an elimination style, and you can have me get pins in the first 2 minutes. I don't give a shit. So I thought that was very reminiscent of that. I liked it. I feel like Seth is the workhorse. He's the guy who's put the most work in out of these guys in the last 10 years. I'm not saying neither Punk or Roman haven't put in hard work, good work. I just think Seth is the one that's put in the most work and been the least appreciated. He was never the chosen one. He was never the prodigal son returns like Punk. He's always just been here in the trenches, the good times, the bads, and is always ready to defend WWE, for good or for bad. So he definitely deserved this win. So good for him. I got everything right except for this one and Grande Americano. It was a solid Mania night one. Albeit a little uninspiring. I hope they have more in store for tomorrow. Some bigger moments, some bigger returns. I don't think they should rest on their laurels. I feel like they might do that after tonight. I hope they don't, because while tonight was good, it wasn't outstanding. I'm not feeling the FOMO personally. Like I'm not just like after watching that show, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there. Like of course I wish I was there, but I'm not regretting not going. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a big thing, and so the fact they don't have that going for them, I think, is an issue. Is problematic. Hopefully tomorrow night they will. They will. I mean, not for me personally because I don't want to feel the FOMO, but I'm just saying tomorrow night they need to over deliver, and I don't even think having just Becky Lynch returning is over delivering. You know what I mean? Like they got to do a lot, and even so, because SummerSlam is right around the corner. I want to go to SummerSlam, and I want it to be a kick-ass show. I don't want it to just be like, okay, that was pretty good, or like that was decent, or like, you know what I mean? I want it to be out of this world because it can be, and it should be, especially premium live events. The amount of money you're spending on tickets, it should be a show like nothing else, like nothing you've ever seen before, with you know, all kinds of crazy swerves and surprises and God knows what. All right, let's see where we're at. We're at 56 minutes. I did this all on my own. Awesome. Glad to hear it. God, was there anything else? Sorry, the washing machine's going on in the background. It's very distracting. All right, hopefully more of us will be on tomorrow night. I will be on Long Island, hopefully covering. I'll definitely be watching after Easter dinner. Oh, I remember now. So a lot of people have been asking, like, why did they do this Easter weekend? Like, especially considering, sorry, I got another taco burp. Oh, these taco burps are vicious. Okay. So a lot of people were asking, why would you do this Easter weekend? You know, especially, Easter Sunday. Why you got a WrestleMania Sunday? Why would you do that? Wasn't there a better weekend that's not religious to like do this on? That people would want to be your family celebrate, which is a fair point. Like I'm definitely going to be watching I'm going to be eating dinner with. I'm at my sister's place right now. I'm taking my sister, my brother-in-law, and my baby nephew to my sister and I's parents tomorrow night. We're gonna have dinner there. But like dinner comes first, WrestleMania comes second. And I think a lot of people think that way. Maybe not everybody, but it's like, so why would you do it? Have WrestleMania and Easter on the same weekend. Well, from what I heard, the rumor is that Vegas, when they were doing this deal with WWE to have Mania come back to Vegas, they were like, bro, Easter weekend, we don't get a lot of traffic, or like that's the least traffic it did. We don't get a lot of traffic that weekend. Can we set up Mania that weekend? And I guess WWE was like, yeah, sure. Because you think about it, WWE Mania is usually either the first weekend of April or the second weekend in April. Sometimes it's the end of March. I know that, but it's not typically the third weekend in April. I'd have to see what the numbers are. You can always check that back. But I think it's like, I hear that and I'm like, yeah, I can see that being the reason why. Yeah. So overall, I would say so far so good. I think the main event was the best match. Close second would be LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. And I would say that the women's match, Jade Cargill versus Naomi, was surprisingly good. I would say the other matches kind of were a little underwhelming. It is what it is. We'll see how the rest are. Just keep following the pod. We're here on YouTube. We're here on StreamYard, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. I'm the one who posts the most on Instagram. So if you're seeing something on Instagram, most likely I posted it. And definitely check me out. Mean Streak Matt, that's my personal on Instagram, as well as Matt's Minifigs, which is Lego based. And I'm going to have something tomorrow, Lego based for Mania. And I'm gonna put on our story that Kieran Culkin clip. He and I thought CM Punk were winning tonight. We were both wrong. Kieran Culkin, if you're listening to this, thanks for talking to us. We enjoyed speaking with you. We really enjoyed your play. We hope to see you at SummerSlam. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. And this is the Mark It Down podcast with Mean Streak Matt. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. See you tomorrow night. Enjoy WrestleMania. Bye.